Well, all right, we're back here with the tractor getting ready to go. Boy, don't underestimate the time it takes to set up all the cameras. Well, hello and welcome back. We're out on the homestead today, and we're going to be working on this gravel driveway. About 2.5 years ago, we were doing gravel work out at the 300 acres. I had a buddy of mine, Larry and Kenny, out there working, and we had the excavator and Larry's dump truck. And we had moved about 50 or so dump truck loads out and around the 300 acres when Larry said, hey, why don't we bring some gravel over to your place over there that you're staying and get that driveway fixed up. It was a muddy mess during rainy season, and that was kind of an impromptu task, and so I didn't get a chance to prepare the ground very well for what we were about to do. Now, when you do build a driveway, you should remove the topsoil and get down to clay or whatever, you know, and in this case that might have been 8 inches or so of dirt to be removed. It also gives you a better defined line, but I took advantage of having Larry's dump truck available and the fact that out at my property, which has that creek running through it, and eons and eons ago, I'm no geologist expert, but because of that, there's a lot of river gravel. If you look down here, you can see that this is gravel. Now, a website or a YouTube channel called Blue Collar Life has done a great job of just explaining the difference between, see if I can do this, river gravel such as this, which is what I have an abundance of out at my property, and crushed stone. Now, crushed stone, limestone, is that grayish color. This is more brown, and in my opinion, you know, looks more natural. So we went with it, and what comes with that is a lot of clay and then bigger rocks. So I'll roll in some pictures here of the bigger rocks that came in that load, and while we were dumping the gravel here on the driveway, I would have to go through and pick out all the big rocks and stuff. And I mean, I just had a ton of it, and my buddy Kenny used that for riprap over on his lake levee. So that's what we have, and I knew going in that I would continue to have to maintain it. It took several years, 2 years, you know, of rain kind of washes the clay down. If I use the land plane, which we'll be using today, and I'll explain how that works a little bit better, but that keeps the rocks at the surface. I mean, these rocks, even if we had to scrape the topsoil off, they'd kind of disappear down into the soil, you know, and you'd have to keep putting more on there. Well, good thing for me is I have a good source of that out at my property, right? So it was going to take maintenance, and that's what we're going to do today, is to continue to run over it, keeping the gravel near the surface. So you'll see the beauty of a land plane. There's always a question, you know, land plane or box blade, and I have both. And I have used the box blade to kind of work on these edges a little bit. Can I do that? Can I point? Yeah, kind of right there. They're not as sharp, and you know, it's nice to have a nice sharply defined driveway, and you know, we kind of work on it. Now this summer, a lot of grass grew up. Now I don't know if that's because there's still a lot of topsoil under there and it creeps over the edge, since I don't have a nice sharp edge on there. But what we're going to do today is mix that up. This is all dead. Of course, the grass is dormant now anyway because of the weather, and but I did spray it, you know, with glyphosate, Roundup, on there. But again, the difference between a stone driveway and a gravel driveway is an aesthetic choice. I think the rounded gravel looks a little bit more natural, but it doesn't lock together tight and pack down quite as nice as crushed stone. When you put crushed stone on a driveway, there's different grades, which is basically sizes. You start with the bigger pieces and put a layer of that, and then a smaller layer, and then eventually you get to what they call crusher run, which is 1 inch down to powder, something like that, 1.5 inch or whatever, but down to the powders, and it packs really hard. You don't get that with river gravel like we have here, but I like it, and it's free. I have an abundance of it out at my property. Now, what we didn't have back then that we have now is a way to sort that gravel once we get it. I have an attachment for my Bobcat, which I've yet to use out there at the gravel pit, but I'm excited about it because I can basically produce all the sorted and kind of cleaned gravel that I want. And I have miles of trails to build, driveways to maintain. My buddies around here have driveways to maintain. So that could be an income source down the road, I'm not sure. But certainly I built this driveway for nothing compared to probably somewhere in the 4 figures worth of trucked in river gravel. So that's a good thing, and that pretty much, you know, makes my decision for me on what to do and how to maintain it. All right, well, enough of this. Let's go get the tractor and the land plane, and we'll get this what I call top dressed. You know, we're not moving a lot of stuff. We're just kind of bringing the rocks to the surface, and I call that top dressing. So we're gonna, and some people may say adding more clean stone would be a top dress, but I'm calling this top dressing. So we'll go with that for now. All right, here we go. She always starts up right away, but she hasn't started in about a month. Let's turn the AC off. Always love me some rock and roll. Glow plug started. Here we go. Ah, that's my girl. All right, let's let her warm up for a minute. While she's doing that, let's talk about the land plane and what all that is. Zoom me back out here. All right, that's the everything attachments land plane. And if you notice those teeth right there, what they do is they dig into the earth, be it gravel or dirt. You can use this, you know, after you've roughed over some dirt and you just want to smooth it out, say before you plant seed or something like that. And it's got the ripper teeth. Now, I don't need them on this project today, but they'll come in handy. They come in handy sometimes when you're got to tear some turf up before you do it. Now, notice this arm of the 3-point attachment. That is adjustable, and what that allows you to do is change the angle on your attachment. You know, you can tilt it this way or that way. Now, you know, when you buy a GoPro, you buy those attachment kits. Those attachment kits do a lot of things well, but nothing great. I have this GoPro on the back windshield of my tractor, and I'm nervous as hell that thing stays on. But what we're going to do is back out here, drive up to the driveway. Here we go. I'm sure in time I will buy a real nice heavy-duty suction mount. But I did buy a real nice heavy-duty double magnet mount because the content on my channel will involve a lot of equipment banging around and doing its work that I want to show with you guys. So I didn't hold back when I bought that magnet mount. I'll be using it today while this land plane is doing its thing. So it's going to get a lot of vibration. I'm not worried about the magnet mount, but I am sure timid about this suction mount that is on the GoPro right now. I'm actually, as I'm driving, I'm turned around watching it real quick. Now, if it falls, there's nothing to roll over it, but anyhow. So if you want an explanation of gravel versus stone, go visit that YouTube channel. What was it? Purple Collar Life, I believe. He did a real good job of explaining it.
The other thing is, now I can be a resource for other people trying to decide between number 3 gravel and limestone, or river rock and limestone.
All right, we're gonna have to work around this wood pile. You can't see it right now, but you'll see it in a minute. That was lumber cut on my Logosol chainsaw mill from trees from the 300 acres. In fact, in the intro, if I'm still using that intro, you'll see Kenny and I hauling some logs out, or getting ready to haul some logs out. Man, probably pull forward and turn, and you'll see that right now, but that stack of lumber right there that's stacked and stickered is from the 300 acres. It's just dimensional lumber right now. I've used some of it. One of the things we're going to have to do is make a new rear carry-all. That'll be a whole video in itself. But all right, let's actually, I got to walk back and get the other camera and the ATV, but I'll be right back and we will get started on top dressing this driveway. All right. Well, all right, we're back here with the tractor getting ready to go. Boy, don't underestimate the time it takes to set up all the cameras. All right, so here's what we've got going on the John Deere 4066R. Got the GoPro mounted right there. And I'm about ready to shake things up a little bit. So again, I'm pretty nervous about that cheap suction mount. There is a lanyard that came with everything. I haven't put it on yet. I think that might be a good idea. But anyway, let me see if I can show you the magnet mount here. I'm using the Osmo gimbal, so if it seems strange, my camera movements, I'm trying to get used to it. Come on. Here we go. See the magnet mount? There you go. That magnet mount's not going anywhere. And I'm going to move the GoPro there here in a little while and get you a close-up look at that. But this is the project, and we're getting ready to top dress this driveway. So I'm going to jump in the tractor, keep this running, because I'm practicing vlogging here, in case you didn't realize, with this DJI Osmo 6 gimbal, and seeing how I can incorporate it in my video shoots. And what's going to be really interesting is when I get the drone in the air and I've got to run it from the tractor. Here we go. All right, now I'm going to have to put this down. I just think that would be the safest way to go. I don't know, maybe not. Let me see. I can hold this up and give you all a shot. There, is that going to be worth it? I've seen guys do it on YouTube, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right. And that's about a good place to start. Now we put the 3-point hitch down, and It's making contact, and I'm going to trust that the GoPro is getting footage there. Okay. Lined up pretty good. A little bit of RPM, maybe 1500. Let's put it in gear, that'd be a good idea. All right. So it's scraping the top of the rocks. And then as it builds the rocks up, they roll over the top of those blades and let the rock lay back down. So it scrapes from the high spots, fills in the low spots. And one of the objectives today is to kind of disrupt that dead grass that was on there. You know, it looks ugly. I gotta remember the camera's over there. Alright, I don't have it all the way down, but that seems to be a good level right there for what we're doing today. Alright, like I said, all this river gravel came from the 300 acres, and it was not clean, you know. It had a lot of clay in it, and we didn't remove the topsoil. So you got to do this to keep the rocks near the surface. All right, GoPro's still there, hasn't fallen off yet. So I'm going to get to this end of the driveway, and then I think I'm going to stop and remount the GoPro if I may have left the screwdriver back there. Nah, I'll just go around one more time, go back there, do it properly with the screwdriver. I gotta stop this recording because I think what's going on is I didn't turn my phone on my video focus, which stops all notifications from coming in. It seems like when a notification comes in, the gimbal doesn't like it. All right, I'll be right back. Future Dave here from the editing deck. Well, I did it again. I forgot to hit record on the GoPro. I thought that I could use the footage from the Insta360 and use the salvaging audio track from the Rode microphones, but I decided not to do that, just to keep the video short and just go ahead and cut to the second pass. So I'm leaving the GoPro on the suction mount for one more pass out there, and then I move it to the magnet mount. So anyway, hope that explains that. So anyway, in case I can't salvage that audio, you know, what we're doing is just scraping the surface. You can see that the rocks are rolling up on those blades, and they scrape the high points, and then it fills in on the low points, and otherwise keeps that gravel near the surface instead of compacting down and getting lost forever into the topsoil and clay underneath. And so you just run this across a couple of passes. I've got some grass near the edges, which hopefully will dig that up. As I said earlier, all the grass is dormant right now, and that was sprayed in the fall when it was still green, and you know, killed it. But you know, it keeps coming back. Mother Nature and grass is a very prolific thing for sure. All right, and if I did save that other video, the other audio, here I am at the end of the driveway again, and I need a screwdriver to change that mount. So we'll turn around and go back up there by the ATV and get the screwdriver and change the mount, see what the magnet mount looks like mounted directly on the land plane. And I'm not going to miss the opportunity to drag as I go backwards. I'm going to try to hug this right side again a little tighter. And there we go. put it down. And this is also where that arm on the 3-point hitch, you can raise it and tilt the land plane, and it might dig into this edge a little better, but the box blade's really better for that. And I think even one day what I'm going to do is get the excavator and the grading bucket and dig these edges a lot better, you know, and see how that works. I think that'll work pretty good. That's my plan anyhow. All right, how are we digging up this grass? Yeah, not bad. I don't know if the GoPro's actually seeing that far edge over there. Let me see. Oh, can't tell. Screens went black on the GoPro. I trust it's still recording though. Just, I think the screens time out after a while. And it looks like I could tilt that up a little bit. That front plate's not cutting as much as the back one. All right. You really, any attachments that contact the ground, it's really not recommended that you turn while they're in contact with the ground, like I just did. All right. I'm gonna shut everything down and move that GoPro. Got that mount moved, and now I'll make a couple of passes with that view. See how that works. That's on the magnet mount. Got image stabilization on the GoPro. And I didn't bother adjusting the top link so the land plane would hit at a little different angle. I don't think it matters much at the moment. All right, here we go. But I'm sure you can appreciate how this keeps the rocks near the surface. You can use the land plane to kind of redistribute material. A lot of times it'll get to where out here by the road it's a little thin, so I can kind of concentrate on dragging more towards the end of the driveway. All right, we're going to hit this left side again. Oop. Hit the asphalt a little too hard there. And again, this tool is not going to cut and clean a nice new edge. You want to be careful not to get too close to the edge, because what ends up happening is, you know, your driveway starts to grow in width. So, like I said, one of these days I'll get the excavator out here and dig some nice crisp lines. I think that's going to be the ticket. But it doesn't look too bad, and when I compare it to other driveways, when I drive around and look at them, you know, they all look like mine. So we haven't done too bad a job. Like I said, the price was right. All the gravel was free. It sure looks nice after I top dress it like this, I gotta say. Alright, getting near the wood pile up here. I don't want to dump too much rock, so I'll gradually lift up on it. But I do want to cut this grass a little bit, you know, the old dead grass. Just kind of up and down a little bit and lightly distribute it. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Alright, I have to turn around out here and probably dump a little too much towards the end there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick that back up. Dadgummit. I'll try to just grab it with that last blade, if I can. No way around it. I just dumped a little too much rock out in the grass. I was thinking one time I've got a lot of rocks that I pick up around the property here that I would make a kind of an end stop there at the end of the driveway with a bunch of, you know, 2-foot boulders that I pick up. It would look pretty good. That'll keep that from happening. Keep you from dumping gravel out into the yard. Alright, I think it's looking pretty good. I don't know how long this video is getting about now. Get to the end of the driveway, look both ways for cars, pull up a little bit on the land plane, let it dump its gravel right there. Then we'll go right down the middle again with kind of a light pass. This driveway's got a little crown to it. Tried to top dress it, promote a crown a little bit. I don't have any problems with water puddling. Alright, for my family and friends, I'm gonna finish this pass. I'm not done dressing up near the house here just yet, but I'm eager to get this footage onto the computer and see how we did. So I'm gonna stop here, collect all the cameras up, and go offload them onto the computer. Alright, I might come back in a little while and shoot an outro with the gimbal. Alright, let's go inside. Okay, well, we used the John Deere 4066R and the Everything Attachments land plane to go along the edges and get the dead grass up, and then go down a few inches and bring and keep the gravel to the surface. Now I can tell I need to dig a little deeper into the clay that's beneath the top layer of gravel, and that'll help bring up some of the other rocks. Again, this is not your typical driveway build. We used gravel from a gravel pit out at my property, so that would help. If I could use the ripper teeth on the land plane, that'll help bring up some of the gravel. Now, another attachment that's really good that goes on the John Deere 4066 is what's called a landscape rake. Landscape rakes are great. Before I had the land plane, that's how I maintained Jerry's driveway. And I already had a land plane by the time we built this, but that works real well too. It doesn't dig as deep, but it leaves a nicer finish. It also doesn't leave like some of the lines that you see from the edges of the land plane, so that's one thing there. So there you have it, some of the basics of maintaining a gravel driveway. If you like this kind of content and you got something out of it, give it the old like-a-roo, comment and subscribe, that whole YouTube thing. It really does help a young channel like mine. But anyway, that's it for this video, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, everybody, give yourselves a round of applause. That's a wrap. We'll see you on the next video. Go home, be with your families, all right? All right.